Oh man, I just watched the full trailer for Resident Evil's new animated film Death Island, which has to be the worst movie trailer I've ever seen. And this is coming from someone who just sat through the new Captain Marvel's trailer. It's that bad. And besides the fact that this shit looks like it was made in Gary's mod, the terrible editing and audio mixing had me thinking that this trailer was accidentally released, unfinished, just like that Tom Cruise movie. Seriously, the trailer breaks are so forced and abrupt, you'd think that they'd reserve these moments for something significant or important to be said. But no, it's just Jill or Rebecca squawking out the least clever response, followed by some terrible score.
That can't be good.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, I've seen better productions from fan films.
Yeah.
And better animations on Pornhub. This is Bollywood Studios level of quality here. Every aspect of this film just screams cheap cash grab. It's so blatantly obvious, and Capcom has no shame. They're reusing everything. Old retired voice actors, like the soulless version of Leon, who makes Lily Gao's Ada Wong appear human in contrast.
That's not true. The villains here are the ones who use the virus. The worst in them are the ones who made it.
Yeah.
And these old-ass character models that have no business existing in the 2017 setting. But what's even more tiring are the old-ass tropes they keep recycling. Like, how many fucking times are the heroes gonna find a discarded anti-tank rocket launcher in their most dire moments of need? How many more times are they gonna retcon the events of Raccoon City just so we can give a one-time disposable villain a motive? We've seen all this shit before. Curtis Miller in Degeneration, and now Dylan, or whatever his name is, both survivors of Raccoon turned bioterrorist. Even in our last animated feature, if you want to call it that, they straight up reused the same purging system they used to kill Curtis Miller. What's next? Are they going to recycle the railgun from Vendetta just to mix up the ending, hoping that we won't notice how many times they do the same shit over and over? Oh, fuck me. And speaking of recycling, this sink is still using the same coffee cup, jacket, and ponytail after 11 years since we last saw her. It's no wonder why Neil got tired of porking her and signed her up to be sex trafficked. But Claire's appearance is nowhere near as offensive as Jill's. This foul-mouthed, flat-butted shell of her former self hasn't changed out of her shit-stained clothes since she rode down the doo-doo slide in Raccoon City. She even promised us right after that she'd burn these clothes.
I'm definitely burning these clothes.
But no, if we've learned anything from Capcom, it's that they'll never follow through on anything, and that's why we'll never see Billy again. Because, unfortunately, his character model is too outdated to keep using. And if it costs Capcom money, don't ever count on seeing him again. Also, this trailer reminds us that Jill was presumed to be dead for 3 years while Wesker had free use of her, so I really doubt her belongings, like this blue tank top and necklace, would still even be around. And I love how forced Chris's delivery is of this exposition.
You mean how Wesker brainwashed her and made her come after us? No one's blaming Jill for that.
People are thinking he's looking guilty for being the one that put Jill in that situation, but he's really just dying inside from the cringe. Another thing I love is how many NPCs came out in defense of this movie, using this young Jill character model, all regurgitating the same details that Jill hasn't aged a day since 1998 because she was infected with the T-virus. It's true, and it's a detail I didn't argue at the time, but I knew all along it was really just Capcom being cheap. But then, everyone was quick to shut up as soon as they saw Rebecca and Claire in those leaked stills the day before the trailer dropped, looking just as tight as ever. Yeah, there's no excuse for this. Capcom is insulting you and every woman who's aging gracefully, because women aren't allowed to be in Resident Evil if they're older than 25 years old. So let's just ignore the fact that all these women are supposed to be in their 40s. I'd actually support the idea of microtransactions for this movie if I was able to swap out the skins of these characters. Just give us a normal looking Claire for once. And as for Rebecca, this is unconfirmed, but I believe Rebecca is now trans. I'm guessing that these 4 needles are her testosterone injectors, and this terrible haircut combined with her obvious breast reduction is a result of her transitioning. And I could totally be off on this, but I'm willing to bet that this is just another way for Capcom to avoid having women age within the RE universe. If they become dudes, problem solved.
You're a smart woman, experienced. You know that if, say, we wanted something or someone to disappear, it would damn well disappear. It's not hard to do.
And another telling detail, revealing the cheapacity of this film, are Jill's gloves. I don't think she can actually take these off. Like, did this film studio not have access to her character model without gloves? Look here, even in her casual incognito wear, she's still sporting these tactical gloves. Like, gee, I wonder how the villain was able to pick you out of a crowd, you dumb bitch. This is pretty embarrassing if modders can get her naked, but the own studio can't take these gloves off. I'm also willing to bet that Jill's slow-ass aging as a result of her bonding with the T-Virus isn't even going to be mentioned in this movie. Capcom just stole that detail from some Twitter user who was trying to justify her appearance, just like that clown Sonny Bobo who stole my tweet about T-Phobos and A-Virus keeping Rebecca and Claire's pussies tight. But go ahead, enjoy all the attention by watering down my joke. I've still made bigger and more significant discoveries, so you can have that one. And speaking of unfunny jokes, I was actually starting to like Leon's character the last time we saw him in Vendetta. For some reason, he started becoming self-aware in the universe he was in.
This again, huh? It's like I'm stuck in a goddamn loop.
What are you talking about?
Recognizing that he's always the sole survivor on his missions and that he's trapped in an endless cycle of bioterror. But now, he's clearly back to his old ways again, just killing soccer moms on his way to work and delivering the most tired and cliche lines imaginable.
Definitely going on vacation after this.
It's like he's now Tyrese from Fast 9, where he became self-aware of his plot armor and said, "F*** it, let's go to space in a Fiero. I can't die anyway. I never do."
Just to clarify, are you two maybe suggesting that we're what? Invincible?
Maybe.
And as usual, Capcom couldn't be bothered with designing new creatures for the animated film, so they just slapped some gills and tails on some liquors they had laying around and fished this shark out of Tall Oaks Lake so the whole gang could literally jump the shark all at once this time around. Anyway, don't hold out any hope that this will lead into anything to do with Resident Evil 9. Just quit lying to yourselves. Seriously, try and name one instance where Capcom ever followed through with a single setup and payoff. There's going to be no connecting tissue to the games. Capcom's just like J.J. Abrams, lost and directionless. There are 1,000 plot threads they should be focusing on and resolving, but no, let's just pull new villains out our ass and tell the same story we've been telling for 30 years, and then fill it with even more loose ends. But don't get me wrong, I'm super excited about this movie and can't wait to see it. I'm looking forward to seeing all these legacy boobs come together under one roof, and hopefully one of these characters actually dies or sustains some life-changing injury as a result of their actions. It's time for Leon to break his back, and it's time for Chris to retire or die. Please, just give us something new, something with consequences. But asking isn't enough, so I've created a petition for Capcom to finally kill off Chris Redfield. Links in the description below. Please sign it and support my cause. Thank you. Bye.